Yahweh's will was that everyone is delivered and comes to the fullness of relationship with Yeshua. One, Yahweh's perfect. Everything about him is perfect. He can't give you something that is not of him. So all sickness, all disease, all darkness, none of that is of him, so he can't give it to you in the first place. Two, his ways are mysterious to those who are not filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. So that's an Old Testament scripture which applied to people that did not have Yahweh in them. We now are new covenant believers who have Yeshua living inside of us. With Yeshua inside of us, we have the mind of Yeshua, HaMashiach, and we are anointed, to use that terminology, with the Ruach HaKodesh. So if Ruach HaKodesh is in us and leads us into all truth, we can absolutely know Yahweh's will, because the truth is inside of us and written on our hearts. And the third one is Scripture reveals the truth to us. We just have to look for it. Yahweh's will is actually very easy for us to know. It's perfect, it's good, it only brings good things to you, and it's all driven in love. To me, those 3 points in and of themselves wash away every aspect of that sacred cow. Is you know Yahweh's will because he told you what his will is through Yeshua. And even with the Godspell language in the scripture, you know Yeshua's will was that he never left anyone sick. He never left disease on anyone. He never put a sickness or a disease on anyone. So if he didn't do it, how can Yahweh do it? He can't, because Yeshua said, I am the exact representation of Yahweh. So if it was Yahweh's will to use a sickness to teach somebody something, somewhere in the time of Yeshua's ministry, he would have had to do the same thing. And he did not. Every time he was encountered with a sickness, a disease, anything, even using the Godspell language, which we know that there's problems with the words, even with using those bad words, he healed people, he kicked out demons, he restored their life completely in every situation.
And one of the things that you can know that this is absolute truth is because what did Yeshua do when he went to somebody that was asking for help? He asked, what can I do for you? And he said that because he is Yahweh, and Yahweh cannot even look upon evil. So he could not see anything, the affliction that was going on in that person. They had to tell him what the affliction was.
Yeah, I'm not sure he could see anything. And whether he could or not, we don't fully know, right? We have that scripture that says Yahweh can't look upon evil because his eyes are too perfect. So it sure indicates that that's a good possibility. But even if he could see it, he wanted them also to come into agreement with him on the fixing of the problem, right? Because when you agree with Yahweh on what you want done, and he says, so be it, or okay, it's finished, or eyes be opened, or ears be released, dumb spirit get out, and you agree with that, it has to happen. Because you put your free will in joinder with Yahweh. So either way, whether, just so that we can't poke holes in that argument, is that either way, it's Yeshua's will for you to be complete. In the new covenant, Yahweh puts himself on the inside of us. And that is one of the greatest mysteries of the good message, is Yahweh in you. Specifically one verse that says the mystery of the entirety of the gospel is Christ in you. In the King James language, Yeshua in you is the mystery of the whole thing, is the God himself moves into you. Well, man, if you got Yahweh living on the inside of that body, there can't be not one thing wrong with you.
Yeah. And then on top of that, Yeshua said, you have my authority on heaven and earth to do and say things.
Right? Matthew 28:18.
Yeah.
He said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given unto me. And now I give it to you. Go do what I was doing.
Yeah.
This is why there can be miracles that happen that aren't recorded in the scripture. Because you now speak as an oracle of Yahweh. meaning you speak as a truth teller of Yahweh. So if you speak truth over somebody, regardless of how you do it, it absolutely has to come to pass. We have free will because we're sovereigns here on this earth. We were made just like Yahweh. And so he's made us sovereigns just like he's a sovereign.
Yep.
And so whatever we declare is going to happen. And when the person we declare it over comes into agreement with us, then they will get whatever they said. If you put Yahweh into somebody and you let Yahweh work, and that person lets Yahweh work, then the only result you can get is perfection and completion, because that's what Yeshua paid for. Within Yeshua, we have been given all things. And we've been made complete in Yeshua. Colossians is we've been made complete in Yeshua. Well, so if we've been given all things through Yeshua, he paid for every sickness, disease, every demon, every evil, wicked thing that we could have done. Every lie of the enemy was paid for by Yeshua. Then the only result we're going to get is perfection and completion if we come into agreement with that. The only thing we can get is perfect, because there is no particle of darkness in Yahweh. But then we have to stand on that truth, because here's where double-mindedness comes into play, is when somebody doesn't see a result immediately, whether they know the reason why or not. Sometimes things happen and we have no idea why we don't see something suddenly. And we think we should have seen it suddenly and we don't see it. Then the problem that happens is people change their words. They go back and say, oh, well, that didn't work, or that didn't happen. I don't know why this isn't working. I don't know why this isn't happening. And then they start declaring the problem over the situation again, instead of Yahweh's word over the situation. Yes. So Yahweh's will is already done, actually. We just have to take it. We just have to take the kingdom by force, because Yahweh's will is already completed. Yeshua said it is finished. So if we have to add anything to what he did, then we're taking away what Yeshua did. When really all we have to do is come into alignment with what Yeshua said, which is how we take the kingdom. As we say, no, I don't believe in sickness and disease, because demons all belong in the pit of hell where they're going anyways. And Yeshua said that he put the enemy under his feet, so I'm putting the enemy under my feet. And I do not agree with that, and I will not stand on that. I'm going to stand on the truth of what Yeshua said, and Yeshua said, in him I am complete and I am perfect. And I don't care what I see with my eyes. I'm standing on this truth.
The doubt, it is for your mind, because if you don't come out of agreement immediately with something, you are sealing that into your mind, and it's a lot harder to come out of agreement later. So the first thing you want to do for your benefit and your mind's benefit is say, no.
Right.
No, I do not agree. Because if you come into agreement with it, the affliction starts. You just gave the permission for the affliction to start. And then you come out later, it's a lot harder to see that deliverance, because you've affirmed that in your mind. Whether the demon's gone or not, your mind has grasped that this is the way it is, and this is the way it's going to be.
Right. So you're fighting your own brain.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of times demons are gone and people are fighting their own brain. Because they think that this is something that they have, or someone told them you have this condition and they came into agreement with it, whether they understood it or not, and they have claimed that condition as something that belongs to them. It's like claiming your car as your car. It's my car. I own that car. That's my car, right? Not your car. It's my car. It's the same kind of thing as they're claiming this. One of the easiest ways to rewrite your brain is to stop saying my. No, there's a demon that's got a veil in front of my eyes. There's a demon that's trying to convince me that I can't see. There's a demon that's poking me and making me think that my back hurts. There's a demon sticking a spear in my foot, making me think that there's something wrong with my foot. Sometimes we don't know the reason why something's happening, but we know who the source of the problem is. The devil, his minions, the demons, every evil thing comes from something other than Yahweh. The source of the problem is the evil. Evil can't be mine. There can't be a thing wrong with me.
That's right.
And we might not know why it takes a long time or what's happening. There might be things that we're trying to learn, but it's definitely not Yahweh's fault, because Yahweh didn't give it to us in the first place. And Yahweh already gave us our completeness in Yeshua. We just need to figure out how to claim it. We need to figure out how to take it to be ours. Sometimes we just don't have enough truth in that area.
Yeah. Yeah. Truth is the primary one you want to have first. Then you want to proclaim and claim it
After Yeshua.
and then you renew your mind.
Yeah, that's why the renewing of your mind is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's things that we see instantly as soon as we pray, problem solved. And then there's also things that linger a little bit. Like I've had a demon poking my heel for a while. And, we'd pray about it, it'd go away, and then a few days later come back. Well, it had went away, and then I tripped in the garage, and there was pain in a different area. And so I immediately went to Charity and said, hey, pray for my foot. Pain gone in that different area of my foot. But the next morning I woke up and the pain was back in the heel. And I was like, what is going on? So we prayed again and then the pain went away. So we just have to convince our brain that it's gone for good.
Right. Because I think that's part of the problem is sometimes when your brain is so used to seeing something a particular way. When I was 12, my dad and the doctor and my teacher at school all came into agreement that there was something wrong with my eyes and I needed to wear glasses. And because I was too young to know better, I just went along with whatever they were saying is, oh, well, that must be something I need, right? But I didn't know because I was 12, right? And when Eric and I came together in covenant, one of the first things that we did was to get rid of those glasses and the contacts. And I was like, I don't need these. I'm perfect. Everything about me is perfect. And Eric said to me at one point, he said, well, you don't really need those. So let's just get rid of them. We agreed that you're right. I don't need them. That this was a lie of the enemy and I don't need them. I can see perfectly fine. And it's been this process of renewing my mind to this fact because from 12 to 48 years old, I thought that I needed glasses, right? So I thought that there was something wrong with my eyes from 12 to 48, right? So that's a long time that you were in agreement with something that you now have to rewrite your brain. Because when I'd get home from work, I'd take my contacts out and walk around the house and not be able to see everything clearly. And at that time I was saying they're mine. Right? My contacts. And even sometimes I would say I took my eyes out. Dumb things that I was saying because I didn't know better. And so my brain got trained that when you're in the house, you can walk around without glasses or contacts and it's fine. And when you go out in public, then you put on the glasses and contacts, right? So that's how my brain was trained. And so it's been this process of having to retrain my brain that no, I'm fine. I can see just fine. And it's actually really funny because there's times that when I'm in the house, my eyes will act exactly like that. That they'll act like they can't see stuff in the house and I'll go step outside and then all of a sudden I can see again. So it's the brain. It's a trick of the brain saying that you need something, but you really don't because there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. And we're not saying you can't get deliverance from long-term afflictions. I mean, I had a knee, it blew out my ACL when I was skiing in the Alps. And I lived with that for 25 years. I think it was 23 years. And I'd hurt my ankle and my knee at the lake. And to make a long story short, I said, yeah, but why am I still in pain? And why haven't I received my deliverance? And he says, did you ask? And so I decreed and declared and asked for the deliverance and commanded everything that be mended properly back to normal. And then I jumped up and down on it as an act of truth. It was delivered. And ever since that moment, my ACL was replaced because I used to, when I would run, I would feel like my knees coming apart from my
bones.
Yeah, my two bones are coming apart at the knee. It would feel like this when I'd run, so I wouldn't run. But after that, I was running up mountains, no problem. And it was great. I never have felt that again. And, and I had learned from a trip to the lake that you don't call anything bad because that allows the enemy to attack you. When you call this is my bad this or this is my bad that, that is an in for the devil to afflict you. And I saw that with some of my family members at the lake. So I learned that I'm not speaking against it. It's done, it's finished, and it will never change. It is perfectly fine. So that was an
Anytime
instant
something
healing.
comes up, you tell it to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Right.
it's just demons.
It's just demons. And that's what I'm saying about changing our mind, because sometimes there's things that we continue to think because we did it for so long. And so then this thing will come up and we'll be like, oh, is there something wrong? But there's not.
They're not.
It's just your brain thinking that you have an affliction. And we just need to renew our mind continually and say, no, I was released to the curse. That can't be true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And reset it, right? So, and eventually there'll be a point where you actually believe yourself.
Yeah. That is so true.
Yeah.
It's like brainwashing yourself, because your brain is fighting against the breath that is within you. And, like people say, spirit, soul, and body, right? But the spirit is the breath. So the breath knows all truth. The soul portion, your intellect, has to decide whether it's going to agree with that breath that knows all truth, or if it's going to agree with the body that's being afflicted by demons. And so you are a being of light. You are in joinder with that breath. Your body is just what you live in. So you're trying to convince your mortal self that you're fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Whatever you're seeing or whatever you're feeling is a lie of the enemy, and you have to overcome those lies.
Yeah. It says, I don't know the verse, but it says, sure, we're instantly translated to the kingdom of light. So how do you stay in the kingdom of light? You agree with
Colossians
the breath.
1.
Colossians 1. What you agree with the breath, the Ruach HaKodesh. How do you get out of the kingdom of light? You agree with the demons, and that takes you out of the kingdom of light, because nothing by any means shall harm us. So we just need to agree with the Ruach HaKodesh.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that the demons shouldn't be allowed to, once you've been delivered of something, to come back and bother you again about it. Even though I know what you're saying with the brain being tricked, so it's like an on and off. It's like you're in the kingdom and translated, and then you're back out.
You're not moving back and forth. The problem is your body hasn't figured out where you really are. Your brain hasn't figured out where you really are.
So that's part of the struggle, I think.
Yeah, the mind is really the struggle. It's not that you're physically moving back and forth out of the kingdom of light and into the kingdom of darkness. You're really not. It's your mind that thinks you are, because your mind was brainwashed to believe this earth that we're on right now, this fashion, this way. Your brain was brainwashed to believe that the chair you're sitting in is actually solid. The table that you're using, you can't put your hand through, that you can't walk through walls, right? The same is true with the body. Your brain was brainwashed to believe that you have 12 systems in your body and they can fail, right? Well, that's all lies from the devil, because we were made to be beings of light. And if we are a being of light, then mortal things cannot actually affect us. And that's what Romans is talking about in chapter 6 through chapter 9, is Paul saying, you are no longer confined nor defined by the elemental spiritual forces of this world. Well, that includes your body. But you have to convince yourself that this is true. And like the quote I use for people a lot is from the Matrix movie, there is no spoon. But you don't understand that because you're holding the spoon, right? It's like holding a pen and saying there is no pen, but I'm holding a pen, so I'm seeing the pen, so I think that there really is a pen.
Yeah, but if we're in Yahweh's image, we're beings of light. So what does that mean? I mean, beings of light, if we aren't physical in the sense that we see light and it's just
then it would mean that we could write on a stone with our finger just like Yahweh did.
Yeah.
That the light coming out of us could physically make marks in the dirt and in the stone, in the rocks, just like Yahweh did. Because that's who we are.
Okay. So yeah, because we're aligned with his will, but like you said, he doesn't want us to be in darkness.
Right. He doesn't want us in darkness. And the more you love him, the more you're going to be in alignment with his will, because he wants you to enjoy this world that he gave you. And he's never going to give you anything evil. So if you function in love and in that cheerfulness that Yahweh gave you, how could you do anything evil? Like, I love Yeshua so much, I couldn't do something wrong to another human being because it would be hurting myself,
Yeah.
right? Because Yeshua's love for people is so great and I love Yeshua so much, I'm impelled into action to do good things for them. And if I don't, then
Right.
I feel bad. I hurt
Yeah.
because I knew I had the solution and I didn't do anything about it.
Right. Now,
Yeshua lives in us to enjoy this world that he gave us. So
Right.
what do you care about? What are you passionate about? Where do you want to go? And he
Okay.
will give you the shalom in that. The things will line up in such a way you will know absolutely that that's the one that Yahweh picked. And
Yeah.
when it's right, it will be right. Everything will line up and both people will know it's right. So you have to decide where you're going to make your choice. So you have to have Yeshua point you in the direction that you need to go, right? So the same structure, Yahweh's got a structure, he's got an order, and he does things the same way. It can be spontaneous like that, it can be suddenly like that, or it could be something that you slowly walk into, but I know for sure that you will know that this is the thing. And a lot of people that I've met, when they've stopped trying to do it themselves and they've given all the choice over to Yahweh, it has happened very suddenly. But the biggest thing is you have to be right in your relationship with Yeshua. Your focus has to stay straight on Yahweh. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Just focus on Yahweh, because when you focus on Yahweh, it'll clean out your life. It'll get your life in right order.
Okay.
Everything will come into alignment because your top focus is correct.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you put your focus on that, if you say, Yahweh, I want to know truth, then you focus on, well, what do I have to learn to be able to do that? And Yahweh's not going to wait until you know everything, because you'll die before then. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
In and of your own human self, you can't know everything before you're ever ready and perfectly in alignment with every piece of knowledge possible. No. What Yahweh wants is that you love him first and foremost above all else. And you
Right.
love your neighbor as yourself, right? So as you walk more in that truth of, I live and move and have my being in Yeshua HaMashiach, then it's very easy. The truth is written on your heart. The
Okay.
word is the truth.
Yeah. Right.
Yeshua is the truth. He said, I am the truth and the way and the light. And just line yourself up with good, right? And Yahweh says, I want you to enjoy this world. So what do you find fun? What do you enjoy? What do you like doing? Where's your passion? Focus on those things that are your passion, and Yahweh will bring all the things that you need together in alignment for that thing.
But if you're telling Yahweh, hey, you have XYZ problem, but then you want to overcome it by authority that's been given through Yeshua, you're first acknowledging that problem exists. I mean, or that you have a problem and you don't have your head in the sand, but there's one, but then you know that you can overcome it with truth.
Well, yeah, but you just confirmed that you have a problem when you said, when you tell Yahweh you've got a problem, Yahweh can't see that problem. You just confirmed it. When people tell you have a problem, you say, no, I don't. You don't confirm that there's a problem.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I think we just learned a lot with my daughter, because I was saying the same thing that you just said, Yehoiakim, before. Through this conversation, I'm realizing that's something that I learned in this last 2 weeks, is I never said my daughter had a problem. Never once. And if we have all the authority and all of the ability of Yeshua himself, and Yeshua is risen from the dead, he doesn't have a problem.
No.
There is no problem in him, and we are in him. We look just like him. So then we don't have a problem. God can't be afflicted. Yahweh can't have a problem. Yahweh can't have a sickness, and Yahweh can't have a disease. So that actually might be another sacred cow that we haven't even realized that we had, is of acknowledging these problems. Well, but I don't have a problem because I have Yeshua living in me. I have the fullness of Yahweh living in me. How could I have a problem if I have Yahweh?
Oh,
So I'm like, I'm thinking about this as I'm talking to you, because I was saying the exact same thing that you just said.
yeah, because I think that we talked
Yeah.
about it several months ago.
Uh-huh.
And we kind of agreed that you have to initially say that there exists a problem and then take authority of it, as opposed to completely denying it, because I was using some examples, real life examples of people that wouldn't even want to acknowledge that a problem existed. Like I
Right.
knew
Well,
somebody
you
got bit by a
can,
snake.
a lot of people, they make this mistake. They name their problem. The key here is we have an affliction. A demon is afflicting you. It's okay to say that, because that goes on all the time.
But what if we can go beyond that? This is what's coming to my mind right now, is what if we can go beyond that? And I don't have any scripture to like put at this at the moment, because it's literally just flowing out of my mouth. Is if we're looking at Yeshua said, don't take your eyes off of me. Yeshua said, I am risen from the dead, and now I have completed everything. And you are just like me. As I am, so are you in this earth, right? I've given you all my authority, all my ability. If we've been translated out of the kingdom of darkness into the realm of light, so there's all your scriptures. Thank you, Ruach HaKodesh, right?
Plus the one where he was walking on water, he took his eyes off of Yeshua, and that's when he had the problem.
That's when he fell, right? So if we change our focus and say, no, I am just like Yeshua on this earth. I look at things the way Yeshua looks at. I walk the way Yeshua walks. I act the way Yeshua walks. Everything I do is Yeshua, because it's no longer I who lives, but Yeshua who lives. Then it's no longer I have a problem. I don't have a problem. I actually can't have a problem. It's impossible for me to have a problem. Well, it's impossible for me to have an affliction. It's impossible for demons to touch me. And if we could rewrite our brain to think that way and not declare any problem ever, how much more would we actually stop the demons from afflicting us? And I think that's actually the answer to the question we were just talking about, is the point that you made, Jehoiakim, of how do I get to the point where all the demons just flee and there's nothing that happens? That's the answer to the question, is I stop thinking that they can touch me. I stop thinking that I can have a problem. I stop thinking that they have any impact on my life whatsoever. And I literally walk like Yeshua.
Well, the reason I was bringing that question is several months ago, like we discussed, so you're admitting that this occurred, and then you're trying to overcome it by taking authority. That's one thing, like we were trying to say.
What if we took a different approach, Jehoiakim? What if in that same situation, we took a different approach, and when the person came and said, I got bit by a snake and this thing happened, instead, we acted just like Yeshua did, and we said, oh, well, would you like to be delivered from that? And we command the demon to get out of them.
We've got a direct correlation, a direct scripture.
And don't even...
just shook the snake off in the fire and said, went on about his business.
Exactly. Someone else said he got bit by a snake, right? He didn't acknowledge that he was bit by a snake. He shook it off in the fire. So what if we take that same example for us, and when someone comes to you and say they have this problem, instead of saying, oh, I see that problem, what if we say what Yeshua said and say, problem, get out? Like, no, you don't have that problem. Eyes be opened, right?
Okay.
You think you got bit by a snake and you think that you've been poisoned. Well, then instead of acknowledging that that is the issue, then I would say something like, oh, well, poison, get out of this body. Toxins, you can't touch this body. No poison can hurt you.
Nothing by any means shall harm you.
Right. What if we took that approach? Then you're not agreeing with the person that there's a problem. You're not acknowledging that a devil did anything. And you're actually declaring Yahweh's truth over every situation then.
You're just declaring the truth that you can be delivered from it?
No, that you already were. Not can be. You were.
You were. Oh.
Yeah.
Because what Yeshua did was for everyone, whether they believe it or not, it was done already, and he won't come back and die again for us. It's finished. It's all finished. So it's already been done. We just are declaring that truth.
So even though you're in this world, and our brains are saying, hey, you feel pain, you see this occur, you cut your finger, because I think you said one time, I think it was you, maybe you cut something in the kitchen.
I cut my hand.
Yeah. And then what did you acknowledge it and then pray over or gave authority or what happened exactly?
No, I took the glass had gone into my hand right here.
Mm-hmm.
It had wedged into my hand, and I set down some of the glass and dropped some of the other glass. And I grabbed a hold of it and I said, "No, repair." And it mended. It, like, within seconds, it completely repaired itself, because that's all I said. I said 2 words. I said no and repair. And I went to the sink and I ran my hand under water and it looked like a paper cut. I had a good sized chunk of crystal shoved into my hand. And I didn't acknowledge that I was cut. I didn't acknowledge that there was a problem. All I said was no. So in some ways, I guess you could say it was an acknowledgement that there was something that was trying to hurt me, right? But Yahweh said I'm complete. And accidents aren't a thing. I can't have accidents because they come from the devil. So
that's not just being positive thinking. It's more
No.
powerful than that.
it is, because I'm standing on the truth.
Right.
With Yeshua came all things. Anything I ask in the name of Yeshua is done. But more so, he said there will be a time coming, and he was referring to when you'd be filled with Ruach HaKodesh, that you will ask anything that you want from the Father, and he will give it to you from the face of the Father. Because we loved Yeshua. Because we loved Yeshua and we put our life in Yeshua, when we got the Ruach HaKodesh in us, then we became just like Yeshua. Anything we say is actually going to be true. And Yeshua never declared problems. He always declared the truth. He always said the truth. So when somebody said, "I can't see," he said, "Eyes be opened." When the lepers said they wanted to be cured of leprosy, he said, "Be clean and go show yourself to the priest." Right? So
Right.
he was saying, you are already cleansed. You're already perfect. The centurion that wasn't even a believer, right? He couldn't even be a believer. He comes and he says, my servant is dying. Yeshua says, "I didn't come for you." And he says, but you're a man of authority. And I know that I can tell my soldiers, go here, and they go, and do this, and they do it. So you don't even have to come to my house. Just declare my servant free. And Yeshua said to him, "It is done according to your belief." According to the truth that you had. And it says belief in the text, but it's truth. So because you believed that I had the authority to tell that sickness to get out of your servant, it is done. He didn't even tell the demon to leave. He didn't even command anything to change. He just said, "It is done."
Okay. Yeah, he just said it was done. Okay. Yeah, because he's not acknowledging that something occurred. And he says, "Oh, I see you have X, Y, and Z." Or
Yep.
he's just saying it's delivered. Yeah.
Exactly. And if we know all these things that are evil that come against us are from a demon or a devil, of something from the fallen world, something that the enemy adversary has done against us, this traducer, right? Then it actually becomes very easy, because if something is not perfect, if something is not beautiful, if something's not working, then it's not Yahweh.
Right.
It doesn't come from him. He declared, if we just look at the promises of the Old Testament in Deuteronomy 28, we shouldn't ever have a problem.
We don't.
Oh,
We don't. What in Deuteronomy 28?
Right. I mean, because to follow the law is to follow Yeshua, to love Yeshua with everything that we are above all else, and love our neighbor as ourselves. That's our only 2 commandments that we have now. It's love.
Yeah.
And love covers a multitude of sins, which means love covers a multitude of lies. Love overcomes everything. The entirety of the kingdom, Galatians says, the entirety of the kingdom works by love. Right? So all of these, I'm like firing these scriptures off super fast, but that's what's happening in my brain, is going, well, but that's part of our problem, is that we're not looking at the completed work of Yeshua. We're still thinking we have to walk through something. We have to work through something. This thing has to be finished. We still have to manipulate things, instead of just saying, no, I'm already at the end. It's done. It's finished. Yeshua did it. The enemy was already dragged through the streets. The devil was already defeated. The enemies are under his feet, which means if he's in me, they're under my feet. And so it is finished. It is already done. And I am a being of light, just like Yahweh said I am.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
I'm going to have to listen to this recording again.
Yeah.
There's a lot in here, isn't there?
Do what?
A lot in here in this recording.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that Ruach HaKodesh is telling me right now is We got to stop focusing on the world. What I said earlier is absolutely true. And we'll study this out more and figure out how to teach it the right way. But it's absolutely true. We got to stop looking at the world because we're still looking at Yahweh through the world's eyes. And we need to turn our eyes around and we need to look through Yahweh's eyes to us, through Yeshua's eyes to us. And through Yeshua's eyes to us means everything's done. We're already in Revelation 22. Revelation 22 is our existence. The only reason we don't know that is because we've been looking at it the wrong way for so long that we've believed the lie that that was true, that this world that we know it, this way that they have told us, we've believed that that's true.
Yeah.
When I got up to take a break for a minute, I realized Ruach HaKodesh said to me, this is the question you asked earlier today. And I asked this question. I said, what is it that I am not getting? What is it that I am not understanding? How do I finish off this testimony of how you restored my eyes? Because I know that it's done. I know all these truths. I know all these things. So what is it that I am not getting? Because there is something in my brain that I am not hearing. And what I told you guys before I got up, and Ruach HaKodesh said, this is what you missed, is you're still not looking at it through my eyes. You're not looking at it through Yahweh's eyes to this world. You still keep claiming that something needs to be fixed. I already fixed it. It's already done. It was finished. And when you had your friends lay hands on you in Rwanda, when the stigmatism demon got kicked out of your eyes, so did everything else. So did the nearsighted demon get kicked out of your eyes when they laid hands on you, because I restore everything. I restored everything all at the same time. You've already had your healing. You've already had your deliverance. You just still keep thinking there's something wrong. And I was like, So I'm telling you like what I'm hearing at the exact same time, like as this is happening. So we get this is the fullness of it, is we already got the miracle. We already have the truth. We already have the miracle. We already have the deliverance that we need. We already have the healing that we need, because it's deliverance, right? The restoration of the flesh has already been delivered. We already have it. We just have to stop saying that we have a problem and acknowledge it's mine. It's already done. I have it. It's mine. Thank you, Yeshua, that you have already taken care of this. This is finished.
Thank you, Yeshua. You've taken care of us from bottom to top.
Yes. And as we've been talking since I got up, my eyes are getting clearer and clearer every second. Like I can feel them changing. And like they were starting to water earlier, and like I was feeling the strain of trying to look at things, and they are feeling so much better right now. Because it's already done. It's already finished. Yeshua already made us perfect and complete in every way. We have to stop declaring that there's a problem. We have to stop saying that we're missing something or we need something, because Yeshua gave us everything already. And when Yahweh looks at us, he says, I don't know what you're asking for because you're already complete. There is nothing wrong with you. I already made you perfect. This is the answer to how I said, how do I look past the blister?
Yeah.
Because that was, I think I probably told you this already, Yehoiakim, but that was one of the things that Yeshua said to me when I had gotten a blister, is how do I see that it's finished? And Yeshua said, look past the blister. And I did not understand what that meant. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. How do I not see what I see, right? This is how we look past the blister, is we look at ourself as Yahweh looks at us. And Yahweh said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. You're a being of light, and you are made just like me. You are made in my image, and you look like my son, Yeshua. You look like my kin, Yeshua. And Yeshua and I look like one. We're one and the same. So you look like us. That's what I see. I see you just like me. I can't see anything wrong with you. And we have to look at ourselves in that same perspective and say that I can't see anything wrong with me. There isn't anything wrong with me. Yeshua made me perfect. I have everything I need. I have all the funding I need. I have all the people I need. I have all the resources I need. I have all the perfection of my body I need. I have all the strength. He said, your eyes can't dim because I made them perfect. So your eyes will never dim because they can't dim.
Yeah.
Right? It's impossible for there to be anything actually wrong with you because I already transferred you into the kingdom of light. So you were already made perfect. That's
Yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah. So much in the same way, we're trying to dig deeper into the written word to have a closer relationship, of getting closer to the truth, of understanding Him. It's much in the same way of when I look at something like in the case of our health and well-being, our temple. We are the temple. So I want to make sure that I keep as best as I can cleaned up.
That's great, but I don't think we have to worry about the physical thing. I think we just have to worry about the relationship with Ruach HaKodesh. Will lead you into all truth. That is what you should focus on.
And remember, Yeshua said the judgment of a man is not what he puts in his mouth. It's what comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, Yahweh.
He told the Pharisees and Sadducees and the followers that were following him, he told them directly, he said, it is not about what you eat. It has nothing to do with what you put in your mouth. It is what you're putting in your mind. It's about your thoughts and your feelings that is going to judge a man, is because of what comes out of you. What you speak is what is actually being talked about there. It doesn't matter what goes in your mouth because we're actually beings of light, so it really doesn't even matter.
Oh, even
what you put in
you,
your mouth.
Yeah, so like you just said, it's what goes in your mind or right in your heart.
Yeah.
It's about your thoughts and your feelings. It's about what your mind is processing.
And those are primary, right.
Yeah, and what do you care about the most? What are you revering above Yahweh? And if you revere Yahweh above everything else, the rest of it will fall into right order.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. If I'm doing that in priority and the other stuff is more like secondary, not like, I got to keep the temple clean so that I can be saved. It's more about like a secondary thing while I'm here in this world, while I'm still here in this form, as I continue to grow and learn the truth of the written word and have a relationship. I want to be in a better state of healthy mind and body so that I can be able to do that, to have that relationship. And if I'm eating a bunch of crap that impedes it potentially, or that could...
Only because you think it can right at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only because you think it can. But once you move beyond that, you'll realize it doesn't make a bit of difference. Because Yeshua could choose to eat or not eat after he rose from the dead.
Okay, yeah.
He walked through walls. He chose to sit down and make breakfast for them on the side of the beach when he told them where to throw their net to collect all this fish, right?
Yeah,
He had a choice to eat or not eat. It doesn't matter because you're a being of light. None of that actually even matters when we're in the kingdom of light, because in the kingdom of light, everything responds to us in whatever way we are choosing to make it respond.
Yep. And that's the key. That's why we say a shalom over our food before eating, is because that food is now responding to the power that Yeshua gave us. So it's turning into the river of living water and the bread of light. So we don't have to worry about anything. Shake the snake off in the fire and move on. Who cares? Who cares what they do? It doesn't have any effect on our lives.
Yeah.
To die is gain. So if they were to kill us, we would just be with Yahweh. So who cares? It doesn't matter. It does not matter one bit.
Well, because it just takes you out completely out of the lie.
Yeah.
That's ultimately what's happening, is then you're just completely out of the lie and you're fully into Yahweh's presence.
Yes. Yeah.
And that, there's things that we don't know yet in our flesh aspect of us because we haven't tapped in that of what Ruach HaKodesh has given us inside of us, because we have the mind of Yeshua now. We just haven't tapped into all of it.
Yeah.
And when you're not in the flesh anymore, per se, the way we see it right now, then you will know all truth instantaneously.
Yeah. To die is gain. And the only reason we stay is to live as Yeshua, is to help others see. We don't need to stay here. We can or we can't, but we're choosing now to spend this time here so we can help others find the way.
Yeah, I'm going anywhere now that I know truth. I'm going anywhere. Nope, devil can't take me out. I'm going to kick him in the face.
They nothing they can do to harm us.
So
They take away our food, Yahweh will provide. They take away our money, Yahweh will provide. They do something that supposedly kills you, well, Yahweh's going to take care of it. I'm here. help others. That's it.
So it sounds like, if I understand correctly, it's more just the truth of what's in the written word, the relationship with Yahweh, what Yeshua did, and all that sort of thing. Not so much the truth of what's going on behind the scenes of the enemy, right?
Yeah, well, that's useless information. Who cares?
Even though
they're going to come out with every day, they're coming out with a new way to kill us. So why?
Okay, so
why does it matter?
Yeah, so what would I say to those people that, as believers, they're believers, but they feel like they want to share the truth as well, and the truth they want to share is behind the scenes, what's going on with the enemy, so we can be prepared. That's the truth they're wanting to share. How do I say, hey, that's not the right truth to share? I mean, what do you?
Yeah, I would tell them your focus should not be on this world. It should be on the kingdom of light, the realm of light. Your focus should be on the truth of what Yeshua has done for us and what Yahweh has declared to be true over our life. So if you would declare truth over the world that you see, you would start to see the truth. That's what I would tell them.
Okay,
I've told my dad the same thing. My dad was talking about, especially during the elections, about all these things that are bad with the world and how much better it would be to have a certain person as president and all these things, right? And I told him, I said, Dad, well, how about we stop declaring everything that's wrong and we start praying for our leaders the way the Bible tells us to pray for our leaders. Pray for them to come into truth with Yeshua. Pray for them to have an encounter with Yeshua. Pray for them to make Yeshua decisions in this realm. And then all the things that you're looking at would line up with Yeshua. When they got enough truth, it would line up. And if they weren't going to be the one that would line up with Yeshua, you pray, Yahweh, put someone in place that loves you. Put someone in place in our world that cares about you and will follow Yeshua. And you don't pick a candidate. You don't pick a person to be that king or that president or that congressman or woman or senator. Pick Yahweh and say, Yahweh, I want your person in charge. You establish my kings. You establish our footsteps. You establish our country. Let your will be done in this world and nothing else. To everything else be a lie. I want Yahweh's will done on this earth, and I'm going to declare truth on this orderly arrangement, how Yahweh said it was, and that's all I'm going to declare.
And so So what if some would say, well, you got people that are wicked, and so therefore he might put a wicked leader?
Yahweh is not going to put a wicked leader in front of your church or your country or your nation. Yahweh can't do evil. Do people have free will and can they make bad choices? Yes, absolutely. But Yahweh didn't do it.
Yeah, right.
He can't do it. If we get enough people that would come together and speak the truth would happen.
Yeah.
If you have one person speaking truth and 500 people speaking a lie, well, then people are going to line up their free will with the lie instead of the truth because they won't believe the one person out of the 500. They'll believe the lie.
Yeah.
And then we'll end up with getting the lie because that's what they believed.
Yeah, okay.
Think about it. If you have 100 people that are following Yahweh, doing what Yahweh says, and one person that isn't, and they're the bad people, there's nothing they can do. But if you've got 100 people looking at what the bad person's doing, and one person doing what Yahweh's saying to do, you're not going to get the same results. It's always best to turn our eyes to Yahweh. He will direct our steps. He will tell us what to do. He will tell us when and where and what to do, and put people in place that can take out giants. Like David, like Gideon with 300 men.
When you look at people, you talk to people and you listen to people, right? Most people are sheep and they'll jump on the bandwagon of the loudest voice.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's what you mean.
Yeah, and they watch the news and they don't study out truth, so they don't have any idea. And they definitely don't have, a lot of them don't have a relationship with Yeshua, so they're not going to have the Ruach HaKodesh speaking through them.
So the truth, the message that we want to try to get out is not so much just the typical gospel message as much as it is more so that once you have accepted Yeshua and all of that, with that comes with the understanding of that he has completed everything and that you have the authority type of thing. Is that what I'm understanding? Is that the truth, the message you want to try to get out? Or how would you say it?
I would say relationship and identity. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Relationship and identity is because ultimately, if you know who Yeshua is,
right,
and you know your identity in Yeshua, everything else comes into alignment.
Yep.
And by understanding things, the written word better, by peeling away the veneer, the falsehood, then we have that relationship better understood.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah,
that
because you
is-
can understand truth better.
Yeah, you'll have more truth.
Yeah, and having more truth helps you to shake off the shackles of the strongholds, understanding what those strongholds are.
For example, the example earlier, you won't get tricked into coming into agreement with a curse called a diagnosis. Because you have the truth that it is a hospitality temple
Yeah.
to the god of Apollo. So once you have that truth, you know that anything that goes on in there is going to be bad for you. So you don't come into agreement with anything they say, or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stay out of them. I mean,
Yeah.
statistics show that the people that live the further away from the hospitals you live, your mortality is better.
And so coming into those kind of truths, the relationship, then you understand things like that, right?
Yes, yes.
It's a whole lot easier, right?
Yeah, it's a whole lot easier. The spell casting is that you have to have faith and believe. So I have believed and had faith so hard and never saw a thing. But it wasn't until I had the truth that it was easy to believe, because I know the truth. So knowing the truth that the hospitality temple is a temple to Apollo, and they need your agreement to afflict you, and that's what a diagnosis is. It's another name for a curse.
And in order to know that, that's having the knowledge of one of the
Yeah, it's having
tricks of the enemy.
truth.
Having
It's
one of
having,
the,
yes, that's
so you had to know that piece of the trick, one of those tricks of the enemy, which was in this case.
Yes.
So having these other truths helps you to understand some things so that you don't fall into those things, those other curses.
Yes, because once you know the truth, then it's easy to say, oh, well, I have to come into agreement with the curse for it to afflict me? Then no, I don't want that curse. That doesn't take any faith. That just takes truth. And by changing that small change in the word, we think we got to believe. We got to have faith. But no, you just got to know the truth. You're like, what? That's stupid. I'm not going to do something stupid because I know the truth.
Yeah,
so
the
you
truth.
apply that to many other things, and it's so much easier. And that was the key to getting results for us, was knowing that we were using a spellcasting word and we had to believe something. I believed before this. I believed and believed and believed and had faith, and I could have tons of faith and still see nothing. But now that I know the truth, I'm like, oh, well, this is why this is happening. Well, let's just not do this, and then it won't happen.
This is what Yeshua's telling me right now, is just like Genesis 1:31 and Genesis 2:2. Yahweh says he finishes creating everything, right? And Yahweh says, and Yahweh saw everything that Yahweh had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. And then you jump to 2:2, and it says, on the seventh day, Yahweh ended Yahweh's work that Yahweh had made, and Yahweh rested on the seventh day from all Yahweh's work which Yahweh had made. This is where we need to sit, is Yahweh finished it all. Yeshua gave it all back to us. He put himself inside of us. Once we get Yeshua on the inside of us, everything's already been created. All the work's been done. There's not one bit of work left to do. And we get to sit back and rest, as in the Sabbath rest all the time. Our entire life is in the Sabbath rest. And we can stand in this position of rest. There is no work left for us to do. This is what Revelation 22 is all about, is enjoying the fullness of the kingdom of the realm of light that was given to us. You can create anything you want. You can say anything you want. You can speak any way you want that is in alignment with the light, because you're in the light. You're already in the kingdom. The end was figured out before the beginning. And the two bookends of the entire book is Revelation and Genesis. And they're in there because Yahweh made sure that they would be in there, because they do line up with each other. The teachings are crappy and horrible, but when we get beyond the teachings and the lie of the enemy, we find out that the truth is sitting there in plain sight for us to see, that Yahweh set it all up. He knew the end from the beginning, and the end is just like the beginning. You get to rest in the fullness of Yeshua HaMashiach and enjoy your Sabbath. It is the time of the Jubilee. It is the time for the land to be restored and Yahweh to feed you and Yahweh to bring you water. And you don't have to plant a thing. You don't have to grow a thing. You just get to walk in the fullness of Yeshua in you in every moment of every day. And I am so excited. My whole body feels like it's on fire right now. It is so exciting because I was just looking at my journal and the second dream I had when I went to my daughter's, at the same time, I had a dream that told me what was going to happen with my daughter. The second dream I had was this phone call.
Really?
It's exactly, it's lined up. We used the same examples. We did the same things. What we talked about that we preached on are exactly the same as what was in my dream.
That's funny because I was enjoying this call very much so because of how the truth that is coming out.
And at the end of my dream, my eyes were restored and I could see just fine.
Wow.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
So our eyes are going to get restored? How exciting.
So like that was the end
Eyes
of the
are
dream.
restored. They already are.
As we were talking, my eyes got restored in the dream that I could see clearly as we were talking about the truth. And that's exactly what's happening right now is we are talking about truth. We are seeing truth. We are seeing that we need to look at every situation from Yahweh's perspective. It is finished. We're in the Sabbath rest right now. We don't have to work at a thing. We don't have to try at a thing. We just say, thank you, Yahweh, for taking care of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yeshua, that you already paid for this.
Yes.
You did this for us, and it is finished right now.
We come into agreement that our eyes, perfect vision, so our minds can see.
Right. Yeah.
Right
We
now,
do. We have.
I am in agreement that we have perfect vision. Does everybody concur?
I concur. I have perfect
Yeah.
vision. Yahweh already did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree. I have perfect vision too.
Awesome. We all
Thank
have
you,
perfect
Yahweh.
Yep.
Thank you, Yahweh, for restoring our eyes to
Yes.
perfection, restoring our bodies to perfection, and
That's-
giving us that Sabbath rest.
It's what we just needed. We just need the truth. And
We
now
just need the truth.
Yep.
And it's finished. It's done. It's already finished. We don't need anything else. We don't need to declare anything else. We don't need to say anything else. We don't need to pray a certain way or anything. We just need to rest.
Yep.
And look, we're about to go rest because it's midnight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, your time, right?
Yep.
We're about to go rest. We're going to go
Yeah.
sleep and we're going to wake up tomorrow with the most perfect eyesight we could ever even imagine.
Yep. That's right. I'm looking
Yep.
forward to it.
Yeah. That's true. Yes.
And here's another way I know that it's true is because I had this exact same conversation, almost word for word, in Rwanda when the stigmatism demon got kicked out of my eyes. I had a dream that night and could see clearly. The dream showed me that I could see clearly. And Ruach HaKodesh said to me, quit looking through your own eyes and look through my eyes to the world. Same conversation, right? I got up the next morning and I couldn't see clearly. So I was like, well, what is going on, right? I didn't know demons could put a veil in front of your face. And I didn't know my brain had to come in agreement with this, right?
Yep.
So I thought maybe there was still something wrong with me. But I was like, okay, but I'm not wearing glasses today because Yeshua said I'm restored. So I didn't put my glasses on that day. I was teaching that day. And I went down to breakfast and I told my friends, I said, look, this is what Yeshua said. We have to look through Yeshua's eyes at the world. And he said it's done and it's finished. And we need to look at everything from Yeshua's eyes. And one of my friends said, how do I do that? And I said, I have no idea, but I'm going to try.
Is this where you met David?
Yannick.
Yannick.
Yeah. And so I went the entire day. I did not ever put glasses on. I did not put contacts in the entire day. And I was preaching. I was standing in front of the room preaching. And people were coming out of the crowd. Their face was like coming up to my face and I could see their face clearly. And they never moved. The physical people never moved. But I saw their faces like being brought to my face so I could see them. And I could see them perfectly clear. Every wrinkle, every spot, every smile, like everything. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever. I don't understand what's happening. I have no idea. But what I was seeing, besides the physical things, I was seeing their character. I was seeing how Yahweh made them. and the perfection of them, the complete perfection of them. And I met one particular guy, and at lunchtime, he came up to me and was talking to me, and I was like, well, let's sit down and talk. We got to eat lunch, so let's sit and talk. And he was all like super shy, and he's like, but you're the teacher, and you're going to sit with me and eat lunch? And I'm like, whatever, we're just humans, right? We're all the same. We're all the same humans. I'm just telling you what I know. And the whole time I was seeing the perfect human that Yahweh made in him. And the next day he came and he visited me at the center that we were at and spent like several hours with me. And I was telling him what Yeshua was telling me and ministering to him and prophesying over his life. And I was like, wow, that was like super cool. And the whole time there were just these things that were being highlighted of perfection. And I couldn't see anything around us at all. Like, I was like, yeah, I think there's some trees over there, but they look like giant green blobs. Like, I can't see it. But I was walking around. I was standing on this truth that I don't need glasses anymore. I don't need contacts anymore. I can see. Yeshua said my eyes were fixed. So had this great conversation with him. Then a day or two later, we were out in the city and I had put the contacts in because my eyes still hadn't adjusted and I didn't understand why. And because the why was I thought there was something still wrong. Not because there was anything wrong, but because I wasn't understanding what Yeshua said when he said, turn your eyes around and look at it from my perspective, right? I didn't get it. I did not understand it. And I knew that the stigmatism was a demon. I didn't yet know that nearsightedness was a demon. Which, duh, of course they're the same.
They're all invented.
Right?
They're all invented in the 16th century, all these diseases, and later.
Right.
That, because they know the witchcraft.
But I didn't know it yet. So my truth that I had was hindering my experience, right? We're out in the city and we went to go eat lunch and we're sitting at this table. There's a whole bunch of us. We're sitting at this table and this guy walks in and waves at us and says, hi. And I feel like I've never seen this guy before, ever. And I'm like, okay, so just some Rwandan. I wonder who knows him, right?
Yeah.
He's saying hi to people, and then someone says, hi, Yannick. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not Yannick. That's not who I talked to the other day. Look completely different. The only thing that was the same was he was black and he was a guy.
Yeah.
That was it. Everything else was different. And like I had to explain it to him later because he thought I was insulting him because I had no idea who he was. I didn't have a clue because that day when I had met him, the 2 days that I had talked to him, I was seeing through Yeshua's eyes and I got to see him as Yeshua made him in his perfection. And so I didn't have a clue who this person was. Like literally people had to tell me that it was the same guy I'd been talking to.
So in other words, you kicked out the astigmatism demon, but not at that time the nearsight demon. So you couldn't see him correctly physically, but you saw his character. I think is what you're saying.
And I saw his character. I saw how Yahweh made him. And the physical thing that I was seeing, I now know was the perfect human that Yahweh made him in that fullness of perfection. So when our eyes are restored in Yeshua, that is our proof, our evidential experience as to the fact that you can't see evil. You can't see the sickness and the disease anymore because I couldn't see the way he saw himself. I could only see him the way Yeshua saw him as perfect.
And then 2 days later, he comes back and you see him differently.
Yep, because I put the glasses back on.
She didn't.
I put the veil back on.
Yep.
Oh.
She didn't stand on truth. That she was.
He didn't stand on the truth because I thought I still needed something. And so I put the glasses back on thinking that there was something still wrong that needed to be fixed. But there wasn't. There wasn't anything wrong that needed to be fixed. Yeshua had restored everything because he already paid for it when he was impaled. So there was nothing more to do but me come into agreement with this, that it was finished. But because I didn't have enough truth, I still believed part of the lie. So when I put the veil back on of the glasses, then I saw him now the way that the world saw him, the way he saw himself, the way the world saw him, the way the devil had told him he looks. And he looked very different, very different. And I was like, Yahweh, I don't understand. I don't get it. But I'm understanding it now. As we've been talking, we've learned enough truth. Now I get it. Is we can't look at situations. I have to retract what I said before. Is We can't acknowledge problems. We can't acknowledge any lie of the devil. We have to only acknowledge the truth of Yeshua. And Yeshua freed us of the curse. He made us perfect. He made us complete. And that's what we have to declare.
You did say that earlier. You didn't.
No, I meant like months ago.
Oh, okay.
In a
months ago,
prior
yeah.
conversation when
Yeah.
we
Yeah, I remember.
had talked.
Yeah.
There's nothing can be wrong with us.
Right.
Right.
There can't be. We have to look at ourselves as in Revelation 22. That's really what we need to look at. Genesis 1 and 2 and Revelation 22. That's what we need to look at our life as. It is finished. And those two, the reason I brought those up, those are the two bookends, right?
Yeah,
Is
which was
this is
again?
the way you started, this is the way it ends. Genesis 1, the very last scripture in Genesis 1 is verse 31.
Uh-huh.
And Genesis 2:2, where Yahweh says he rested.
Right, but the bookends. You were saying something about. I was going to ask you earlier about the Revelation. You said there's two bookends in Revelation. I think you said.
No. I'm saying of the book, the two bookends are Genesis and Revelation.
Oh, right. One's the beginning and one's the end. Yeah.
Exactly. Where it starts is where it ends. Revelation 21. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Coming down from heaven. One of them says coming out of the clouds.
Yeah, because
So-
it says he comes down. It doesn't say we go up.
Exactly. He came down. And when did he come down? When he was a man, he came down.
Right.
And then he rose up from the dead and came back. We already had our second coming. He came once as a man and he came again when he rose from the dead. And then we had a third coming because Yeshua sent us the Comforter. And so Ruach HaKodesh came and moved inside us. We will see, I said Revelation 22 several times and I apologize. It's Revelation 21 starting in verse 1 and 2, right? This starts the new reign. We're in that period now if we would see it because we have him in us. We can live that new reign right now. And I still think there's going to be a time where Armageddon happens and all the enemy's completely gone. But what if that time can only happen when we figure out that it's over and done and we declare that Armageddon is now? Enemy, get out, be gone, you're done. Mm-hmm. That could be the exact thing that is holding up Armageddon, taking the enemy completely out of our plate, is because we've been brainwashed to believe that we're still waiting for something that we already have.
Yeah. I was thinking of Yeshua's not coming back until his name is declared throughout the land. Mm-hmm. If we have a Bible that declares Jesus throughout the land, then we're not declaring Yeshua, declaring somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
But
Right.
now that we talk about this, it seems like that's irrelevant because he's already been declared throughout the land. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're
Yeshua
doing.
has been declared throughout the land right after Ruach HaKodesh came on Pentecost. Mm-hmm. They went through the whole world and told everybody.
Yeah.
And then what happened was the enemy got let out for a little while. In Revelation 20, the devil got let out for a little while. And Revelation 20 verse 8 is to go about the world and deceive the nations. That's people groups or human beings. I think this has been spectacular. Can we just pray before we finish this off, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to pray, Yehoiakim?
Yeah. Father Yahweh, we come to you, me, Steve, and Charity, and Eric, and we thank you for this time, and we've had to talk about you and your word and everything, and we thank you for that. Your rock would be us, and you would help us with all that we've discussed and learned, that your truth that we just talked about in your relationship for each of us and your people everywhere, wherever they're at, that they would be revealed and be strengthened, and that they would be empowered with knowing your truth and authority, what Yeshua, your son, has done for us, and having that deeply ingrained into us in a way where we're not discouraged or the enemy doesn't attack us. So we rebuke all the attacks and any attempts to your people, us, each of us here, and your people everywhere, and that the truth would be revealed, and that we would be delivered from all the curses. In Yahushua HaMashiach's name I pray. So be it.
Thank you, Yeshua. We thank you, Yeshua, that you have delivered us from the curse, that we are free of the curse, that everything that the enemy would tell us is a lie, and you have set us free of the curse, and you have opened our eyes to see truth. And we will see the truth now because you have taken away the veil and you have removed all the evil, wicked things from us. And we just thank you, Yahweh, for lifting us up, for removing the veil and letting us focus on you to see things through your eyes and not through the eyes that the enemy would have us look through, but through Yeshua's eyes. And we will never see these enemies again. We will walk into the fullness of the kingdom of light and the realm of light. And we do not agree with the lies of the enemy. We do not take any mark of the beast or anything thereof. We take on Yeshua HaMashiach, who lives on the inside of us. And that is the truth that we know, the truth that we will follow in the fullness of the life of Yeshua HaMashiach, flowing through the entirety of our bodies, from the tips of our toes to the top of our head. We flow with the mighty rivers of living water, with the breath of Yah living in us right now. And we just thank you, Yeshua. We thank you, Yahweh, that you have released us of the curse and shown us your truth, and we walk in the fullness of that. We thank you for the truth that you have given us tonight. We thank you that you've renewed our minds to you, Yahweh, and you show us these many things. And I thank you that as we rest now, that you give us perfect rest to wake up to the newness of life in a few hours. And thank you, Yahweh, for this life that you have given us, and that you let us flow and you move and work through us, that we are now the risen, just like Yeshua HaMashiach. We have risen up out of this darkness, out of the clouds and out of the veil of the enemy, and can now see clearly. And we will not look at the lie of the enemy ever again.
Yes.
Yahweh, we just thank you. And we thank you that you reveal truth to all of those that we will encounter, that everyone that sees us will see you, Yeshua, and nothing but you. And that you have allowed your word to be proclaimed through our mouth. And we just thank you, Yahweh, that we look just like you. And we get to reveal your truth to this orderly arrangement, and all the tribes of this world will see who is Yeshua, who is their HaMashiach, who has set them free. Yahweh, we love you and we worship your mighty name, and we thank you and we love you. Emet. Thank you, Yeshua.
Yes, thank you, Yeshua. All right.
So be it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we love you. Bye.
You too.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
love you too.
All right. All right. Shalom.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.